What makes a man? Is it the power in his hands? Is it his quest for glory? Give it all you got to fight to the top, so we can know your story. Now you're a man, a man, man, man. Now you're a man, a mounty, mounty, man, a man, man, man. You are now a man, you're a man. Now you're a man. Live it, live it.
Welcome back to Ultraspecticus, a journey through classic Ultraman. Before I begin, Toku Faithful, I have something to report. I've been trying to do compilation videos of the last two Ultraspecticuses, Ultra 7 and Ultraman, into one big video you can all watch so you don't have to watch them individually. Unfortunately, YouTube's copyright bots are being more dickish than usual, so I'm either going to have to come up with some fancy way to re-edit them or just do without. It's been touch and go, and I've been trying to appeal and dispute these copyright claims, so sue me for trying to put together compilation videos. I guess we just can't have nice things. Anyway, let's get to it. Well, it may come as a surprise to you that Eiji Tsuburaya, the creator of the Ultra franchise and creator of his own production company, never intended to make another Ultra series after 7. Ultra 7 was intended to be the actual definitive finale for his trilogy of Ultra, which began with Ultra Q. Ironically, the rise in popularity because of Ultra 7 spawned a plethora of tie-in merchandise. Books, toys, models, you name it. I believe the immortal Mel Brooks said it best.
Merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising.
Needless to say, fans young and old were chomping at the bit for a new Ultra show. Though he began to turn his attention to non-Ultra projects such as Mighty Jack and Operation Mystery, Tsuburaya soon realized that the demand for more Ultra series was not going away. So plans for a 4th series began. Once again, more ideas were bounced around, and again an idea of a direct sequel to the 1966 Ultraman series was pitched. Tsuburaya himself even came up with the name of this show, Return of Ultraman. In this new series, Shin Hayata, now retired from the SSSP, would hand off his beta capsule to a new user. This new Ultraman, and I'm using Ultraman in quotation marks, you can't see it, would battle new monsters every week as well as an oncoming alien invasion. But like before, the TBS station shot that idea down. The station and its sponsors requested a brand new Ultraman with which to market new toys and merch, because of course they do. I mean, there's no way fanboys would be stupid enough to buy the same toys twice after all these years. But I digress. Well, Tsuburaya Productions agreed, and once more a new Ultra series was on the way. But then, tragedy struck. On the morning of January 25th, 1970, at 10:15 p.m., Eiji Tsuburaya was discovered to have died in his sleep due to complications of asthma. He was 68 years old. The father of Ultraman, the founder of the company, one of the greatest special effects masters who ever came out of Japan, was gone. Eiji was gone, but the show must go on. Eiji's oldest son, Hajime Tsuburaya, after seeing the decline of his father's health, left his job at TBS to take the reins of both Supro and Return of Ultraman. However, Hajime was no spoiled brat just handed the position. He served as writer and director on the first 3 Ultra series, so he was the best man for the job. The new guard at Supro devised the story and designs of the new show. The new hero would be an everyman. He would have a life of his own and not just a military man, much like his predecessors. He would also be the first not to wield a marketable transformation device. The new Ultraman's design would be similar yet slightly different to the original, just distinctive enough to stand out. And of course, with a new Ultraman, there came new monsters. Not only that, but this new Ultraman would run into a few familiar faces down the road. But we'll get to that in time. But you may be asking, wait, EZ, why is he called Ultraman Jack?
Jack!
Jack was out!
Jack!
Yo, Jack!
Jack was...
Jack!
Jack!
Well, that's actually a funny story. Jack would not get his eponymous name until about 14 years later, in a movie all about Zophie. Yeah, Zophie. How about that? Jack went through several names before this, such as New Ultraman or Shin Man in other countries. Eventually the name Jack was decided. Tsuburaya and Bandai held a contest to decide his name due to some licensing issues they were facing at the time. The name Jack was picked, and apparently it was inspired by Western fairy tales like Jack and the Beanstalk. I've also heard that Jack was a prototype name for another Ultraman we'll get to someday. But no one calls him Ultraman Jack throughout this entire series.
What's your name?
My name's Jack.
Great, because that's just what you're getting. Jack!
Okay, enough jacking off. Let's see the triumphant return of Ultraman, shall we? In episode 1, All Monsters Attack, we waste no time with not one but two monsters rising up and slugging it out. This looks like a job for the SSSP, I mean the MAT, the Monster Attack Team. I guess the guy who comes up with the cool acronyms was on vacation that week.
MAT マットとはモンスターアタックチームの略称である。国際連合機構の地球防衛組織に属し、地球の平和を守るためにあらゆる怪事件に挑む特別チームなのだ。
Unlike past teams, they have an undersea base. Yeah! Why not? Suck it, Captain Mitchell, they did it first. Speaking of captains, the captain here gives orders to launch an attack in their spiffy new aircraft, the Matt Arrows. These monsters look like Grimace is fighting one of the McDonald's Fry Kids. God, I'm old. A kid alerts the people in a nearby auto shop of the monsters attacking. He goes to get a closer look because he's a kid, he don't know no better, while one of the mechanics, goes after him. The ultra-painted aircraft, I see what you did there, opens fire on these monsters while the boy named Jiro looks on. The people are evacuated while a woman cries out that her son is trapped in a building. He finds the lad, but suddenly one of the monsters bumps into the building they're in. Go protects the lad from falling debris. Go is then rushed to the hospital and looks to be in critical condition. His friend's worrying if he'll pull through. Wow, even the announcer tells him to hold on.
子供を愛し、生き物のすべての命を愛し、人を助けるためには自分の命をも投げ出した青年、郷秀樹。今、郷青年の命は風に揺れるろうそくの火のように消え去ろうとしている。郷頑張れ。死ぬな郷よ。
But unfortunately, he doesn't live through the night, and everybody mourns the loss of this heroic young man. We find out that Go was a race car driver who wanted to win prize money to make a better life for his mother. Aww, what a nice guy. His friends then, set his car on fire. Well, that's one way to honor the dead, I guess. I think the more admirable thing to do would be to continue fixing it up, but that's just me. That night, the now deceased Go is visited by a familiar entity. Ultraman! Not the Ultraman, but an Ultraman. He says he witnessed his heroic sacrifice and offers Go a deal, to bond with him. And together they'll fight the oncoming threats of this planet for the next 40-plus episodes.
私はこのままの姿では地球上にとどまることができない。だから君に命を預ける。
Without even an answer, he, bonds with him. Just because he can't respond to you, that does not imply consent. Well, Go wakes up and wonders how he got here and scares a nurse half to death. Look, lady, I'm just as confused as you are.
隊長、
なんだ
郷さんが生き返ったそうです。
なんだって Got better?
Needless to say, he's a little miffed to see that his friends burned up his race car, but no time to worry about that now. Go has an appointment with Matt. Apparently coming back from the dead and saving a child's life is enough to get you in the military. Seriously, these kaiju fighting groups will hire anybody. No experience, no training, no nothing. Wish it was that easy to get a job these days in real life. Do you guys have health insurance and a 401k? Because I racked up a huge hospital bill being dead and all. Go then hears an intense buzzing. Either he has tinnitus or something alien this way comes. He says someone is calling him and the captain gets a call about another monster attack. Coincidence? I think not. This new monster is more vicious than the last two, who I guess just either left the planet or killed each other. It's never explained. Go can't fathom why he's rushing towards the danger, but he does anyway. The Mat crew, which is what I'll be calling them for the foreseeable future because deal with it, opens fire in their whiz jets, but it doesn't do doodly fudge. The others on the ground evacuate civilians and use their laser guns on the monster while they escape. Again, doesn't do doodly fudge. One woman tries to save her trapped grandfather when Go rushes up to help. Man, Go would have made an excellent first responder, am I right? He uses a girder to pry him loose, and suddenly he, randomly becomes Ultraman. It just sort of happened. The Mat crew gets people to safety while Jack, yes, I'm going to be calling him Jack even though he's not called that in the show because it's 2024 and that's his goddamn name. Don't like it? TS. He deals with this new monster, but in no time his color timer begins to blink. Jack picks up an airplane, spins this fin-headed monstrosity, and uses his signature beam attack to finish it off. Ah, just like old times. Jack then takes his leave. The Mat crew find Go passed out afterwards, and he wonders again how he got there. The captain introduces him to the team, so I guess Go just joined? He never said yes. Again, like bonding with Jack, he never said yes. Go looks up and Jack talks to him about his new lease on life. He's an Ultraman now, and it's up to him to save the world from the enemies of humanity. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, Go. In episode 2, to Kong's Great Counterattack, we start this episode with some training. Go already proves to be quite adept at this stuff, easily winning the fights against his new teammates. Even this lady, who is a 4th Dan at Kendo, whatever that means. During another fight, Go realizes he can't lose. He has the power of an Ultraman now, so yeah. Turns out he's been cheating all this time.
ウルトラマンとしての超能力が俺の力になっているんだ。
Our hero, a big stinky cheater.
Go then tries his hand at target practice and is a crack shot too. So Go passes all the tests and is a fully fledged member of the Mat crew. Good timing too, as Grimace is back. I guess I should introduce the other teammates before going on. The leader, Captain Kato.
Kato? Kato?
A gentle person, but a strict by the book leader. Minami, the marksman of the team. Kishida, the brash and most hot-headed of the team. Ueno, the comedy relief, who's also a bit superstitious from time to time. And Oka, the communications officer / token female of the crew. The Mat crew fly out and open fire on the returning Purple People Eater. After that does nothing, they decide to take the subs and attack it underwater. They head out and track it on sonar. Go has an itchy trigger finger, but Minami tells him to wait for Sub 2 to catch up. Go doesn't listen and fires the torpedoes. Grimace then smacks them down for their troubles. Minami is knocked out cold, so Go decides to end this early and becomes Ultraman. But...
よし、こうなったらウルトラマンになってやる。ウルトラマンになれ!
It's okay, Go. It happens to the best of us. You know, I hear they make pills for that. After that fustercluck, Minami tells the team about Go's insubordination. They even got it on tape. Big mistake, Go. I guess nobody told Go about the little black box, did they? Captain Kato rightfully calls him out on it and tells him to resign immediately. Damn, that's a little bit harsh. I figured he'd be stuck doing janitor duties or at least get 4 years in the brig, but wow. Go reluctantly agrees and returns to the auto shop, thinking he can't become Ultraman anymore. He runs into his co-worker / girlfriend Aki. She's a little bit more than overjoyed that he's back at the auto shop. Unfortunately, Ken Sakata, the owner of the shop and Go's best friend, isn't very happy about him returning, especially after learning about how his cockiness got him fired. Damn, word travels fast around here. Go leaves in a huff / goes to do some soul searching. He realizes he was taking his gifts as Ultraman for granted and relying on them too much. Suddenly he gets that tingling sensation again. I'm going to call it Ultra Sense because it's very similar to a certain other superhero.
Spider sense. Danger.
The purple testicle named Takong is back for more, and the Mat crew head out. They use their Mat arrows to open fire, and even Minami goes out too despite his injuries. As if on cue, Takong heads right for the nearest oil refinery. The Mat crew tries to evacuate all the workers, and Go arrives to help. An injured Minami evacuates the workers, but gets lost in the shuffle. Kato tells Go not to go back from Minami and the others, but he does anyway. This time not for glory, but because it's the right thing to do. Once the fires get a little too high, he becomes Jack again, saving everyone, and he takes on Takong. Jack easily puts it down with a well-placed spacium beam. After that, Go visits his friends, now a member of the Mat crew again. Ken tells Go he wants him to come back to the auto shop on his days off so they can build a new race car, the Meteor 2. Again, if you hadn't set the first one on fire, we wouldn't be in this mess. The captain agrees and Go sheds tears of joy. Ah, you big softy. That girl is in love. In Episode 3, The Monster Realm of Terror, a mountain called the Mountain of Evil, subtle, begins to become home to several accidents and strange fatalities. Sure enough, a giant monster is behind this. The Mat crew goes to check it out and spots something strange. They go in to take some pictures and Go spots something that could be a monster's tail, or surface. Ueno mentions that there's a legend about this mountain, that a dragon lives there and eats anyone that comes near it. Kato orders them to head back there and the team scales the mountain to look for clues. And surprise, rocks fall like someone is trying to stop them. Once they get their bearings, Minami decides to call off this expedition. Until Go hears something strange that sounds like a monster's cry. Kato then tells them to get some rest and start fresh in the morning, not believing him. Back at the auto shop, they begin working on the new car when Go's Ultra Sense tingles again. Kato later goes to the mountain alone and he spots a monster which hurls giant rocks at him. But it wasn't a rock, it was a rock monster! Rock monster Sadalar. Kato tries to call HQ for help, but some magnetic interference, possibly from the monster, is blocking the signal. Go and Ken stop working on the car while Go continues to hear the roars from afar. He then takes some time to teach Aki how to play guitar, but Go is still obviously distracted about the monster and she can tell. Oka calls Go and tells him the captain has gone missing. He's positive he went to the mountain, but none of the others agree. Go decides to, go alone, but Minami thinks he may be right, and he goes along with him. Go parachutes in alone at night and goes searching for Kato. We're then treated to a slice of Go's past. His father and two friends went on a mountain climbing trip years ago and never came back. They searched for 10 days, but no one was found, so the search was called off. Later, their bodies were found only 100 meters away from where they stopped searching. Go laments that they could have found his injured father and maybe saved him if they just kept looking.
あと100メートル先を探してくれたら、父さんは助かったに違いない。隊長もきっとこの山のどこかにいる。きっといる。
He eventually finds Kato after Sadalar leaves. But he's not the only monster in this mountain. Another one appears. Underground monster Deton. They make a break for it, but Deton spots them as well as Sadalar, who comes back. The two monsters then begin to slug it out for no real reason. Kato tries to lure them away, but when he does, it gives Go a chance to slip away and become Jack. Jack takes on these two monsters, but it soon turns into a 2-on-1 beatdown. Jack blasts Deton from behind with a Spacian beam and then uses Ultra Slash to behead Satellar. I guess Ultra 7 gave Jack some pointers on beheading monsters. The others find Go and Kato as soon as they reunite. Well guys, I think next time you should listen to Go. In Episode 4, Fatal Attack Meteor Kick, another monster has been sighted near a nuclear power plant. It's up to the Mat crew to intercept it before it gets too close to the plant. Mat Arrow 2 spots the monster and opens fire. It gets their attention, but it breathes fire, hitting Go and shooting him down. Just as his plane crashes, Jack appears. He has a tough time making a dent in this new monster, which has a tough exterior and electro horns. This new monster, Ancient Monster Kingosaurus 3, yep, that's its real name, proves to be too much for Jack to handle. All of his attacks just can't pierce that tough barrier. It even stabs Jack in the leg. Ouch! It looks like the end of our hero and only 4 episodes in. Dang, short show. Kingosaurus goes for the kill, but Jack then disappears. The Mat crew is shocked Ultraman lost, so they retreat. Kingosaurus burrows back underground again after victory. Not sure why he did that, but we gotta pad out the episode. Go recuperates and wonders how he's going to crack that shell, especially with his leg still hurting after that fight. The nurse tells him to stay in bed and rest, but Go says he can't lay around and do nothing. Kato is told by the others that this monster's breath is radioactive, and that explains why it wants to get to the nuclear power plant, for the uranium. Aki laments that they can't see Go and have to walk to see him. Oka drives by and offers them a lift. Well, that's convenient. They all visit Go in the hospital, and Oka tells him in private that the monster is radioactive, and Go is determined to stop it when it shows up again.
仕事の話なんだ。ちょっと外してくれないか。
帰ります、私たち。
すまんがそうしてくれ。
チロ、帰りましょう。申し訳ありません。いいえ。
ゴーさん、このお姉ちゃんが好きになったんだろう。
何を言うんだこいつ。
そうに決まってら。
ジロー、そんなこと言うもんじゃないの。
だって姉ちゃん、電車賃出してはるばる来たんだぞ。
いいのよ。お大事にね。
うん。
うん。
あ。
Well, in his defense, he barely knows her. It's only been 4 episodes. Go wakes up from his dream / PTSD and hatches a plan to beat Kingosaurus. Ultra sense tingling, he's coming back. The Mat crew is there with Geiger counters to track the beast. Oka tells them that Go is missing from the hospital. They ask Ken if Go came back to the auto shop, but he hasn't seen him. Ken thinks he may know where Go has gone, the old mountain pass where they trained as young men. Sure enough, Go is there, training to get stronger to face this monster. But his leg is still not 100%. The Mat crew circle the skies in Aaur 1, preparing for when Kingosaurus 3 shows up. Go sees the aircraft flying overhead and realizes Kingosaurus is on the move. Anyway, Go rushes in like an idiot and gets knocked back. He then turns into Jack. He readies his plan to get around that barrier, and Jack takes a running start.
カラータイマーが赤に変わった。またしてもウルトラマンは負けるのだろうか。あと30秒で動けなくなる。負けるな、ウルトラマン。
And now with the barrier gone, he uses Spacium Beam to destroy it. The Mat crew finds Go knocked out and wake him up. Kato congratulates the team on a job well done, and they head back to HQ. I guess they chew him out off screen or take him back to the hospital? I don't know. In Episode 5, two giant monsters attack Tokyo, and this is a two-parter, I should say that before we go any further. After school, Jiro and his friends find something that looks Jurassic from 100 million years ago. A monster egg. Jiro calls Go and tells him about it. The Mat crew come by to investigate, and they try everything to crack it open, including shooting it, but nothing works. It may just be a rock. Kishida thinks it is, but Go hears a heartbeat inside. Kishida and the others don't believe him when Go tries to convince them that it is an egg. Kato takes Kishida's side on this, and I'm sure that won't come back to bite them in the ass. Oka reports a disturbance in the quarry. Oops, I think it just did. Minami and Ueno head there to check it out. Sure enough, a monster crawls out. Underground monster Gudon. They spot it in the Mat gyro and radio HQ what they see. They open fire, but it does nothing. You're all shocked, I'm sure. Mat Arrow 1 arrives to provide support and Go readies to open fire. But he can't when he sees a child is in the line of fire. Kishida thinks Go is doing this just to get back at him. Really? Kato again does not think Go is right and confines him to his home for 3 days as punishment. The others think that was too harsh, but no time for that. An earthquake is reported near a farm, so they must check it out. Go returns to this quote-unquote egg and asks to inspect it, but it gets buried before he can. Ken somehow knows Go got punished. I think he's in contact with the captain at all times.
どうしてそれを加藤隊長から連絡があった。
Oh, so that's how Ken always knows what's going on. The captain calls him. Snitch! Aki is glad to see Go, of course. She wants to get him a present, but he's under house arrest and can't go shopping with her. Too bad. Suddenly there's another earthquake. Go warns her not to go into town, but she doesn't listen.
おい、アキちゃん。
行ってくれるの？
そこのショッピングセンター行くのやめろよ。
あら、どうして？
別に、ただそんな気がするんだ。
Johnny, don't go. It's too dangerous.
I don't care.
Go knows this has something to do with that rock/egg, and sure enough, downtown erupts in chaos as the earth quakes and fires break out and debris rains down. The streets open up as a giant egg rises up. Go rushes up to see it and finds Aki. He finds her trapped underground with some other people. Ken and Jiro run there too to try and help. Meanwhile, at Mat HQ, the team is visited by the higher-ups, the Ministry of Terrestrial Defense. Not to be confused with the Terrestrial Defense Force from Ultra 7. This new group of brass is led by Commander Kishida, Kishida's uncle. Go gets a call from HQ about what they discovered. Gudon wants to eat the twin tail inside the egg. So it was an egg. He returns to base and tells them not to attack until the trapped people are rescued. Commander Kishida says nuts to that and wants to bomb the two monsters, but Go refuses, saying the people, including Aki, must be rescued first. In a rare move, Kishida, the young one, agrees with Go. Go turns in his badge and storms out. Man, he either quits or gets fired every other day, I swear. Ueno shows up to tell Go to come back, while Kato reluctantly carries out the commander's orders. Ueno decides to stay and help, but it may be too late. The egg hatches and now Twin Tail is on the loose. He's headed right for them. Go runs out and everyone wonders where he's going. He turns into Jack and battles Twin Tail, who proves to be too tough to put down. Twin Tail bites. He's a biter. But Gudon shows up to make things worse. Ultraman Jack has the odds stacked against him. What will he do? In episode 6, Showdown Monsters vs. Matt, Jack is beaten down by both of these monsters as his color timer beeps down. And Jack is gone again. Man, Jack sure gets his ass kicked a lot. 7 would have already cut both of their heads off by now. Just saying. The team finds Go unconscious nearby after the fight. And nobody can put 2 and 2 together here? Oh well. Anyway, they get him to safety and watch Gudon chase Twintail. If he gets and eats him, that spells trouble. You'd think 1 monster instead of 2 would be better, but trust me, it's not. The workers get Aki and the others out, but Aki is injured and unconscious. Her friends are crying for her, and Ken gives Go the shirt she picked out for him.
ゴーさんに合うサイズ、その店でしか売ってないの。
ありがとう、アキちゃん。
Ueno and the others plead with Go to return to Matt, but he refuses. He will not leave Aki's side. Even Ken tells him to go back to Matt. Aki finally wakes up and speaks, and Ken hears her saying to Go, "Forget about me and go back to Matt."
アキちゃん、俺のことなら心配するな。今は一生懸命元気になることを考えてればいいんだ。いいな。
Commander Kishida berates the team for not using the MN bomb as he ordered. This time they tried the MN bomb on both of them, but it doesn't have any effect. So yeah, what say you now, Commander?
ウルトラマン破れ MN 爆弾の効き目もないことが分かった。我々はこれからどうすればよいのだ。
What a yutz.
His underling then has an idea, a new weapon, their final ace in the hole, the Spiner. Kato says it's like a mini H-bomb and it's too dangerous. Commander says they can't become a laughingstock and must beat the monsters.
Now you see that right there, Bubba? That's why I got a problem working with the feds.
Go then hears that the hospital and city must be evacuated, and Go is worried about Aki's well-being. Ken volunteers to take her home, and the team visit Ken's place. He refuses to evacuate his home. He was only a kid when the original H-bombs were dropped. They warn him the Spiner will eradicate everything, and Go protests them dropping it. In the middle of Tokyo, no less. Ken asks Go to take Jiro somewhere safe, but Jiro refuses to leave his siblings behind. Go asks the captain why Matt exists if they can't protect people and only drop bombs.
At last, one of them is understood.
Kato pleads with the commander for one more chance to stop these things before using the bomb. Commander Kishida thinks they have no chance of stopping them, but agrees to let them try. He approves the use of another weapon, the anesthesing shot, which could put the monster to sleep. If it fails, they'll have to use the Spiner. Plus, the commander will disband Matt if they fail. Well, no pressure then. In the morning, they wait for the 2 monsters to rise up, and when they do, the team moves in to use their new weapon to put them to sleep. They only have 1 shot, so they have to make it count. They hit Twintail directly, but it doesn't seem to have worked. And worse, they get their jeeps stuck in the sand. I hate when that happens. Gudon appears and hurls rocks at the team. Go turns into Jack and takes them both on again. They try to gang up on him again, but the crew opens fire on the monsters with their bazookas, grenades, and their sidearms. Anything they have. They distract the monsters and get them to turn on each other. Gudon gets the upper hand on Twintail and Jack rushes in to beat him down. He finally gets a shot at Gudon with the Spacium beam, which takes him down. The team celebrates a job well done as both monsters are done for and Spiner won't be used after all. And good news! Aki wakes up and the others are all thankful she's okay.
シロちゃん危ない。早く撃て。よし。ウルトラマンを援護しろ。
In Episode 7, Operation Monster Rainbow, Go and his friends take a hike. No, literally. They go on a nature walk. Go spots a rock with claw marks on it. Could a monster have done it? Probably. Oh, Ultra Sense tingling. Ken doesn't buy that a monster was here, though. Dude, where have you been for the last 2 episodes?
姉ちゃん、ゴーさんって仲のいいとこ取ってやるよ。その代わり現像代姉ちゃん持ちやぞ。
ずるいわよ、そんなの。
何めとっていいんだぜ。
どうしてそういちいち逆らうの？悪知恵だけは発達して。
ゴーさんって並ぶとすり合い取れねえから。そこの石に乗って。はい。チーズ。
Go's Ultra Sense is still tingling, but he can't seem to find anything that poses an immediate threat. Later, Jiro and his friends make their own Daikaiju flick. Ah, the days of stop motion and Super 8 cameras. Aki shows Jiro the picture he took of them in the mountains, but something is also in the picture with them. She thinks this is a prank, but Jiro swears he had nothing to do with it. Not unless Jiro invented Adobe Photoshop 30 years in advance. God, no one believes the kid in these sci-fi situations until it's too late. Have you people never seen a horror movie before? The Mac crew goes out to investigate, but find nothing. Ken shows them a painting he did of the countryside earlier that day, but notices that something is missing. Go points out the rock from before he saw, which had claw marks in it. He starts to think Jiro was right about the monster. Go is in the woods and his Ultra Sense starts tingling again. He knows something is there. He finds a bunch of teens having a bonfire party. Either that or the Grateful Dead were playing there next. He tries to warn them all of a monster attack, but they don't listen. Not until they see a giant set of eyes in the darkness and run for their lives. Also, it breathes fire at them. That would get me running too. Go finds it strange that he could only see the monster's eyes and nothing else. The Mac crew heads there again to investigate, but are still skeptical. Suddenly rocks begin to fall, again. That happens a lot in this show. So they begin to spread out. Sure enough, it's a giant monster. Invisible Monster Gorbagos. It seems to have a chameleon-like ability to hide among the rocks and mountains to avoid being detected. Go realizes it must be nocturnal, which is why it was so agitated last night. Kato hatches a plan, Operation Rainbow, to catch this monster by spray painting it and marking it. That sounds familiar. They head back to the mountain with a bazooka and guns to wake it up. I'm guessing an alarm clock just wouldn't do the trick here. Oka flies over it while dispersing colored paint. Now this thing can't hide anymore. They find Gorbagos again when they discover it hid underground. Why do these monsters always hide underground? They open fire on it and Go attacks in a Mat Arrow 1. but he sustains some damage and crashes again. That's 2 planes you've destroyed, Go. I'd hate to think of the bill you're racking up. Go wakes up from the crash and becomes Jack. He beats it down and uses Spacium Beam as it tries to get away. The Mat crew find Go after the wreckage and he's alright. I guess they can go back and explain to Jiro it was a monster? I suppose, as he never sees it and is probably still in trouble with Aki and Ken, but hey, look, a rainbow! In Episode 8, Monster Time Bomb, a new monster has been sighted. Bomber monster Ghostron. Wait, Ghostron? Isn't that what Starscream turned into after Galvatron killed him in the '86 Transformers movie? Kishida has a plan to deal with it, though. An X-Bomb. Wait. X-Bomb? Go tries to take out the monster in Mat Aaur 2 and uses the X-Bomb. But the bomb gets lodged in its tail. They can't believe the X-Bomb didn't work. I can. Oka checks the Aaur 2 out, and it doesn't have any errors, so this plan should have worked. The footage revealed that Go hit the wrong button during the drop. The X-Bomb was armed as a time bomb instead of a detonation on impact bomb.
Oops. Right, oops.
The bomb will explode in 10 hours. Oh, good one, Go. Where was your Ultra Sense on that one? Kato tells him that if it makes its way into the city, well, all is lost. Go and Kato spar in the training room, and Go realizes he was overconfident, again. Oka alerts them that the monster is on the move. They have to stop it from getting to the city. Time to evacuate again. Suddenly it changed direction. It's heading for the chemical plant district. Not good. They go in the Mat Gyro to search for the now underground monster. Of course it can now go underground. They all do. Why the hell not? Do I even have to make a Tremors joke here? No, I'll do it anyway.
That's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground.
They decide to lure it away while disabling the X-Bomb stuck in its tail. Go has some reservations about this plan since it may hear them coming before they can deactivate it. He realizes it reacts to sound, so he rewires the machines to be more quiet. So it is a graboid. Kishida and Kato prepare to lure the Ghostron away from the plant with bazookas. Go rushes into the danger zone on a jeep using a siren, which distracts Ghostron anyway. He's able to lure it away safely, but the jeep crashes and the team thinks Go didn't make it. Suddenly Jack appears and fights Ghostron, who just sits down. The clock ticks down to detonation, but Jack then pulls a fast one. He flies Ghostron into space where it safely explodes, not hurting anyone. So that's where Superman got that idea. Go reveals he survived the explosion and all is well. Man, how many lives do you have? In Episode 9, Monster Island SOS, Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and the rest hatch a plan to get off this accursed island by sending a message in a bottle. Nah, just kidding. The New York division of MAT has developed and completed a new monster detector, monster sonar. Minami heads there in Go's place to pick it up. Go builds a model plane for Jiro's birthday in the meantime. Hey kids, don't you want to run out and buy this now at your local toy store? Eh? Kaito told Go this is a direct order, but he's disappointed he can't finish Jiro's gift. So Minami decided to do it in his place. But when Go wakes up, he finds the model is already done and painted while Minami left in his place. Oka tells Minami he's cleared to come in, and Kaito gives him a lecture for defying orders.
どうしたの南隊員天使通信も入れないで。
いやね、隊長の顔が目に浮かんでしまってね。私の顔がどうしたんだね。南隊員は任務を完了。ただいまの現在地は統計160ポイント北緯ですね。何？ゴー君は今頃ジロ君と一緒に。こら、ごまかすな。命令違反の罰として1ヶ月間外出禁止だ。そんな殺生な。
Oka says Minami is about to fly right into a storm zone. Kaito orders him to return to the base safely. Well, duh. Jiro enjoys his new gift while Go is out with him and Aki. Minami flies right into the danger zone and his controls lock up. Oka and Kaito try to respond, but they can't reach him. Minami can't even eject and he crashes into a mountainside. He's alive, but he's unconscious. Aki forgot to fill their thermos with water for the picnic, so Go goes to get some. He also takes this time to call the base and ask about Minami, and they say he disappeared over the Pacific somewhere. The MAT crew goes out in the gyros to search for him, and Go returns to base saying he wants to go too. Unfortunately, the other arrows are being repaired right now, and Go isn't going anywhere. He asks the maintenance team to hurry up and even volunteers to help speed up repairs. Good thing he's a mechanic, right? Minami wakes up to find the locals have found him and are tending to his injuries. He explains who he is and why the sonar is so important. It turns out there are a bunch of researchers investigating strange activities in the mountains. Something tells me every single mountain in Japan has a monster in it. Sure enough, sounds that are like a monster growling have been heard inside the caves. Oh goody, another one of these. Despite having a broken arm, Minami accompanies them with the sonar to find the source of this anomaly.
そんなに怖がることありませんよ。怪獣の声の正体はあの穴から吹き出していく風の音ですよ。なるほど、そうでしたか。まあ幽霊の正体見たり枯れ尾花。やっぱりこいつは正確だったな。
Or is it? Suddenly an earthquake causes a cave-in. The sonar picks something up and then they spot it. It seems there is a monster in the mountain, and it's sleeping. For now. The MAT crew continues to look for Minami but find nothing. Minami tells the science team that maybe they can seal the monster inside with a cave-in. If only they had some dynamite. Luckily they just happen to have some for excavations. Minami's condition then begins to worsen as he faints. He has a fever and tetanus. The scientists try to get some help by using the radio in his downed ship. Probably should have done that immediately after they found him, but whatever. Oka tells Go they found where Minami is and that he needs a tetanus serum ASAP, just in time as the jet is finally repaired. The maintenance team tells Go not to be reckless as the ship is not 100% and has very little fuel in it. I guess Go doesn't decide to wait for them to fill up the tank and leaves. The science team readies the dynamite to kill the beast and light the fuse. They get clear and the dynamite goes boom. This, of course, does the opposite of killing it and in fact wakes it up. What the hell is wrong with you guys? Do I wake you up with dynamite? Do I? Go arrives to shoot at the monster but runs out of fuel. He then crashes. Again. God, they go through planes like paper towels here. What is this, the third plane you've wrecked? Go panics trying to get out of the crashed jet and becomes Jack. He takes on this new beast with rock dreads. Yes, rock dreads. Dread rocks? Ancient monster Dunger. Jack drops the serum near them to give to Minami. Jack rips off his rock dreads and tosses him around before blasting him. The island explodes around the monster, but the monster itself does not. Weird. Go reunites with Minami and now they're trapped on a dying island. Luckily the MAT gyros arrive just to save them. In episode 10, Dinosaur Detonation Order, Jiro and his classmates are digging up dinosaur bones when Go and Minami pull over to say hi. Their teacher says that there's a monster buried around here. You know, it's nice to see a teacher who still inspires kids' imaginations instead of stomping them out as they bud. Suddenly a construction crew bulldozes through the dig site. It suddenly hits something huge, like a big fossil. Go and Minami decide they should look into this. Good thing they conveniently showed up here.
マットとしても調査の必要があります。そうですね。ああ、1週間ぐらいかけてゆっくり調べたいな。
これタイランゾウルスだとすげえな。トゲトゲがあるからステゴゾウルスかもな。
心臓の鼓動音も聞こえない。これなら心配はない。
Okay, Don, we get it. Well, that was a bust, and they decide to report back to base. Later, they get a call from Jiro's teacher, and he wants them to come by the class tomorrow. The next day, they watch a slideshow about dinosaurs. One of his students drew the so-called creature he talked about and named it Stegon, since it's akin to a Stegosaurus. The construction crew from before won't let them back into the dig site and decide to blast.
どうしたんだろ
う。危ないから帰って帰って。1週間の作業中止のはずでしょ。爆破することにしたんだ。
ステゴを爆破するのやめてよ。ねえおじさん、そうよ、かわいそうだわ。
お願いします。2日だけ。いや、今日だけでいい。発掘させてください。
ダイナマイトが仕掛けてある。
That doesn't stop them from running in anyway. Ah, big deal. Daffy Duck and Wile E. Coyote get blown up all the time and they don't get hurt. So the kids look on as the fossil is blown to bits. But surprise, the fossil is not even scratched. They decide to try again when the fossil begins to ooze delicious nacho cheese. Delicious. Ah, Chipotle! It burns! It burns! He then, turns into scrubbing bubbles.
We work hard, so you don't have to!
Go and Minami find out what happened from Oka. The others head out without them to assess the situation. Turns out this nacho cheese is actually acid. Stomach acid from the Stegon. Kato asks Ueno to set more explosions. Have you guys learned nothing? More explosions is only going to make it worse. Go asks him not to for the children, even though a man just died. But they just don't care about the kids. Well, I think James Storm said it best.
Sorry about your damn luck.
Go then hears a heartbeat. Okay, last Don Johnson clip, I promise. It seems the dynamite woke it up. Just like the last episode. Go tells the captain they need to bury it again, and Minami agrees. The construction crew argue that they're impeding their work, and Kato decides they must blow it up. Since Good is dumb, they blow it up. Again. The kids are happy, but Stegon is obviously not. God, what's a prehistoric monster got to do to get 40 million winks around here? They think since the Stegosauruses were herbivores that they've got nothing to worry about. It'll be harmless.
Well, you say that.
They attack it and the kids complain.
It's a monster! Kill it! Kill it!
It's not a monster, it's a dinosaur. Oh, it's a dinosaur.
Kill it! Kill it!
Stegon then gets away somehow. Hey, I wouldn't go after anything that bleeds acid either. Have we learned nothing from aliens? The Mat crew argue over whose fault it is that Stegon is now on the loose. Kato breaks it up and says that he made the right call because it was slowing down construction. Yeah, tell that to the people who get blocked up for miles on the freeway. Or when those jerks are working right outside my window when I'm trying to sleep up for my next shift at work. I hate these guys! Sorry, getting carried away. Anyhow, the dumbasses continue their work and Stegon comes back to tear the place up. They retaliate by chucking dynamite, but that only makes it stronger. And angrier. Yeah, get these SOBs, Stegon. Tear them up! Yeah, I'm rooting for the monster this time. He's literally done nothing wrong. I'm sure some of you are going to say, what about the guy who got killed by the stomach acid? Well, I chalk that up to an accident. The Mac crew decide to lure Stegon out and kill it, but Kato benches Go and Minami because 1, he blames them for this screw-up, and 2, Go is letting his personal emotions get in the way. So they spring a trap for Stegon by trapping it in a burning ring of fire, but he just blows it out. How the hell did these guys get anything done before Ultraman showed up? Kato rushes in with the bazooka filled with a tranquilizer. I guess it's the same shot they used from a few episodes ago, I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter since it doesn't do crap. Go then does his best Leroy Jenkins, blasting at Stegon, but he trips and falls and becomes Jack. Was that a happy coincidence or did he plan that? Guess we'll never know. Jack decides to ride the bucking dino while the kids watch in terror. They beg Jack not to kill it, though. He tries to tame the beast, but it just spits in his face. Now you want it dead? Make up your minds!
Kids say the darndest things.
It breathes on him again until it seems to start falling asleep. Looks like that tranquilizer had a delayed effect. Jack then, freezes Stegon in place and flies off with him. Go reemerges afterwards and the kids wonder where Stegon went. Go says Stegon went to space. The kids can see it and wave goodbye. So yeah, is taking a monster up into space the kaiju equivalent of taking a pet to a farm upstate, when in actuality you took it behind the shed and, well, you know. I bet you 10 to 1 it's lying dead on the moon with that whale that Stan Marsh sent into space, am I right? Well, that's it for now. Check back next time when we'll see poison gas, a giant invisible monster from outer space, and an old friend will drop in to help out the new guy. And I'll see you in the land of light.
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. Say it again now. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. Yes, he is.
바로 그 제트 센터 까먹게요. 내가 그러거다. 자, 혼발기다. 어쨌든 그렇게 왜 하게 돼? 이 간지다.